And welcome back, everyone, to Lantern Corp. You'll notice we have a brand new display. That's because with the Absolute Universe here, we have at least 4 Lantern Cores of the Absolute Universe. Now, they're still the colors of the original universe. You still got green, you got red. Yellow is a combination of yellow and white and gold, but still, and you got black. But they do represent different ideologies and different things in there. So, from Tom Hilbert, the question is, what is the Lantern Corps of the Batman Who Laughs? And that's an interesting. First off, Batman Who Laughs ultimately became way too powerful for any Lantern ring to really qualify. But in the sense that he just didn't need one. I think he had the powers of Dr. Manhattan at some point. So, yeah, I'd say it's pointless. But if we're going by beforehand, then we get into some ideas. Now, right at the gate, he clearly has the willpower to be a Green Lantern. I don't think we can argue that point. But he's not really a good qualifier for the Corps itself. Like, he's too psychotic, too megalomaniacal, too too dangerous, too like psychotic. That being said, a Yellow Lantern, the amount of fear this guy brings, would fit him pretty well. Would fit him pretty well. So I think that has got to be at least an option to consider. He's not doing what he does out of a love for anything, aside from causing destruction and mayhem and whatever his ultimate goal ended up being. But his lack of compassion, that could give him a Indigo Lantern. I'd say he could certainly be a lantern of compassion in that sense if the ring actually went for him. Well, but then you have Blue. He's not really a lantern of hope. You got Greed. He does have goals in mind. He's not really greedy. He's just more destruction for the sake of it. He is the Joker version of the Batman, basically. He also did enjoy death, so he is a Black Lantern in that sense, as well as being a Black Lantern in the sense of the fact that he's dead. But beyond that, he's not a White Lantern, certainly not a White Lantern, nor is he a Gold Lantern, nor is he a Lantern of Sorrow. I wouldn't say he's a Lantern of Shame either. So you'd think that'd make us done, but you do now have the Absolute Lantern Corps, which Absolute Green Lanterns are basically not so much about will, although there is, of course, every lantern uses a little bit of their willpower for manipulation and imagination. But the strength of their ability comes from, apparently choosing, doing the right thing in the right moment. But that's not the that's not the Batman Who Laughs. Nor is the Red Lanterns, who are actually lanterns of restraint in the Absolute Universe, restraining their rage. Then there's the Gold Lanterns, or Gold Yellow Lanterns of Gold Yellow, who are technically of fear, but it's a combination of lack of fear and enlightenment that does that. That brings them to that point. And I do not think it's going to be that's a good Lantern Corps for the Batman Who Laughs. However, the Absolute Black Lanterns are lanterns essentially of chaos and freedom. That's what they are. At least that's the way I've seen it described. That, I actually think, is probably the best way to describe the Batman Who Laughs. He is an agent of freedom and chaos. Yes, he's a horrible individual, death-dealing monster, wants destruction. But at the end of the day, he just does what he does because he does it. He does what he does because he likes it. So, I actually think, ironically, the first character we do in this series with the new Lantern Corps to put in there, I think one of the Absolute Lantern rings would absolutely work. Absolute Black Lanterns would absolutely work for the Batman Who Laughs. Now, mind you, in the Absolute Universe, they don't actually have rings, but they are still channeling the emotional spectrum. So it is a little difficult to say if they get a ring. But yeah, he'd be let's just call him a Black Lantern. an absolute Black Lantern. But this is just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.